Hi, my name is Wing. Welcome to my channel. Today I will be sharing with you my life with my cats. I've had 4 cats throughout my whole life, ever since I was a child. My very first cat was in China. I don't have very good memories of that cat because I was just a child. All I remember was one day my dad and I was carrying the cat, and we took it to another village so far away from our house, and then left the cat to be on its own. And that's all I remember, to abandon that cat. I think the cat was sick or something, and my dad wanted to get rid of it, so we took it far away enough that the cat would not be able to find its way back to our house in the village. That was my very first memory of having a cat. The second cat that I had, I was in my early 20s. I think I was probably just about 20 years old, and I was living on my own at the time already, because I left home when I was only 17 years old. And that was like the first time I adopted a cat as an adult. And this is a picture of Mimi and her kittens. I only had Mimi for about a year or so, maybe 1.5 years, when I adopted her from a friend of mine who gave her up to me. I don't know if she was already pregnant, or maybe she was pregnant, and I didn't even know, or maybe she was impregnated by a male cat that came into the apartment when I was not at home, on the balcony or something. And so she actually had 5 kittens, and one of them was black, and the black one didn't make it somehow. Maybe she didn't feed the black one. And yeah, and Mimi was in my life for about 1.5 years, and after that I was struggling financially, so I had to give her up, and I gave her to another friend of mine. Sometimes I still miss Mimi because I wonder, all her kittens, they would be really old, or even maybe had died many years ago already, because this was 1995 or 1996 when I had her. And I always think to myself that I was not ready to have Mimi, because if my life was stable and having the financial ability to keep her for her whole life, I would have done that. But I was a struggling artist. I didn't have enough money to support her, and life was very hard for me during that time when I was in my early 20s. I was barely getting by to survive on my own, let alone being a pet parent. So from that point on, I learned that if I have a pet again, or if I have a cat again, I have to take good care of it, and make sure that I will be there with that cat till the end of their life. To this day, I still miss Mimi, even though she was only in my life for 1.5 years. I mean, compared with my other cats that I would eventually have, I had the least amount of life experience with her, but she was one of my first cats, and I will always miss her. The third cat that I had, I simply named him Push Cat. It's a very it's a very weird name. I think my ex and I just somehow came up with this name by unintentionally. So this is Pushcat. Pushcat was kind of a stray cat, I think. At the time, I was living with my ex for 3 years, and he was wandering around outside of the garden of our apartment, and he always came around, and we always fed him, and he kept coming, and Jay, come on, over here, come on, Jay, come on, I'm talking about Pushcat right now. Come on, you're in the shot, Jay, come on. Okay, I will talk about you later. I'll talk about you later. So Pushcat would eventually become the cat for me and my ex for 3 years, and he moved in. I don't know if he belonged to anybody, but we just thought it was an elderly cat, and so I mean, for 3 years we gave him a lot of love, and he stayed with my ex even after we broke up in 2002, just before I moved to Toronto, and I love Pushcat, even though I only had him for 3 years, and my ex would have him for another 10 years at least, until he died, I think 3 or 4 years ago. I still remember the day that my ex called me and to let me know that Pushcat had crossed the rainbow bridge to heaven, and I was actually really saddened by that. I actually cried because a few times when I went back to Vancouver to visit my ex, this was like more than 5 years ago, and when Pushcat was still around, he was still a little bit shy to see me because he hasn't seen me for so many years sometimes, and it was he didn't really want me to pet him, but he still remembered me, because I haven't been in his life for so many years, and he had become an older cat already at the time. But I just remember the 3 years he gave me and my ex a lot of love and joy, and so yeah, that was Pushcat, and Pushcat is up there in heaven now with probably Mimi and 2 other cats that I had that passed away eventually. So Pushcat was a very handsome tuxedo cat. This is a picture of the 2 cats that I had when I was living in Toronto. The first cat that I had was Baby, the orange tabby Baby. In 2003, that was the first year I was living in Toronto, and I had Baby. He was already an adult cat at the time, and then about 2 years after that, I adopted Billy as well, the gray cat, and they lived together. At first, Billy did not get along with Baby. I mean, Billy was the new cat, and Baby was already living with me for 2 or 3 years at the time, and they were always fighting, or Billy was always bullying Baby, because Billy was only like a young cat, 1 year old when I got him, and Baby was already an adult cat, almost 10 years old. It took them about maybe 6 months or even a year to really become buddies, and this is a picture that really shows them that they have bonded and became buddies or like brothers to me. And I only had baby for about 5 years, and then he got really sick when I think it was the year was 2006 or 2007. So at the time I was really poor, and because I was still trying to start my career in the film industry, and I was making very little money. And when he got really sick, I didn't have the money to pay for all the expensive vet bills that could possibly save him. Like, I'm talking about thousands of dollars, and at the time the vet was telling me that it's a lot of money. If you can't afford it, maybe you just put him down. And that's what I ended up doing. I just still remember that day I was carrying an empty cat carrier back to my apartment, and I was crying all the way home. And when I got home, there was only Billy left in the apartment, and I think for a while he was wondering where is baby, because they bonded, they became very good friends or like brothers. And at the time I just thought I was so sad that come on, come on, sit here. Oh, it's okay. Anyways, I didn't get another cat. Billy would be the only cat to live with me until many years later when he passed away. I moved into my new ex-boyfriend's house in 2007, and Billy and I would live there for about 5 years. And my ex at that time also treated Billy like that it was his. Come on, you need to go sit down. Calm down, no biting. And I was very happy that my ex and Billy bonded, and Billy had love from both me and my ex until we broke up in 2012. I still remember to this day that when I was driving myself and Billy to a new place that we were moving to, he was meowing like crazy, and I think he knew that he would never see my ex again. Come on, I will talk about you later. Come on, I will talk about you later. You're very jealous that I'm not talking about you right now. Come on, go sit down. Jakey, you play. Okay. Go play. Come on. Catch. Billy had been with me through all the ups and downs. He moved into this in 2014 when I bought this condo. He moved into this condo with me, and this was his happy place. He loved being in the balcony, especially in the summertime. He was a very happy cat. And unfortunately, our happy life together came to an end in 2017 when Billy got very very sick, and he was only 13 and a half
Billy.
years old at the time.
Billy,
And
come.
I basically,
Come on.
when he was at the
Okay.
animal hospital for about 2 weeks to go through various kinds of medical treatments in an attempt to save him, I basically maxed out my credit card. Like I spent more than $5,000 trying to save him, and it still didn't succeed. And the vet came to the conclusion was like, I don't know how much more money you're willing to pay, but we don't think he's gonna make it. At the time, he also became blind 2 weeks before he was put down. And on Halloween of 2017, I will never forget Halloween because that was the night that I had to put him down. And I was like, I mean, seriously, the pain of losing Billy was more painful than any other experiences in my life at the time. It was more painful than losing Baby, because Baby was only in my life for about 4 or 5 years, but Billy was in my life for 12 years, 12 and a half years. That was a very long time, and I had truly thought of Billy like my own child. And I mean, I always thought that he would be able to live until he's 18 or 20 years old and be a very old cat. But he crossed the Rainbow Bridge when he was only 13 and a half years old on Halloween night. Of all of the time or the day that he chose to go, he chose Halloween night. This little monster. He was the sunshine of my life, and I'll always miss him. I think right now, I hope that he and Baby are playing together up in heaven, up in cat heaven, knowing that they have been reunited, and that really brings joy to my heart. After Billy passed away, I didn't think I was going to have another. Oh, come on. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. It's your turn. I'm talking about you now, Jakey. Sit. After Billy passed away, I didn't think I was going to have another cat again, because I was so heartbroken, and I even thought about that Billy might reincarnate and come back to my life as a new cat, or that I would wait for him to come back somehow, because of all of the cats that I have up until Billy was the one that I loved the most, that I gave the most amount of love to, and it's because he lived with me for 12 and a half years. That's a very long time. And then somehow, sometimes when you don't plan to have another cat,
Baby Jake, hi.
the cat will come to you.
Hi, Jake.
And
Hi, Jake.
Handsome Jake came into my life 6 months after Billy passed away.
Jakey.
In 2018, I adopted Handsome Jake. He was only a kitten for 2 months old, very tiny. and I still remember to this day. He was so small that when he would, like, I could literally hold him on my hand, and I always wanted to try some of the things that I never done with my other cats, is to leash walk him and do a lot of things like taking him up to the park and do a lot of things that's outdoorsy. And he was actually okay with that. He went on leash walks, and he went everywhere with me. He went to Starbucks. He even took the Tiki taxi, and we went to Toronto Island. Between the age of kitten and 3 years old, he was very active and he went out with me a lot. And then when COVID hit, the lockdown and everything, we just stopped going out, and also he was becoming an adult cat. He was losing interest in going out. Handsome Jake truly had the best life that he can ask for. And I know that compared to my other cats, he definitely had a way better life. I mean, Billy didn't get all of the good treatment that he has now, but I always gave the best I could at the time that I can. And Handsome Jake gets chicken for breakfast, dry cat food during the day, and steak for dinner. I know he's a little bit overweight right now, and the vet says he needs to lose a little bit of weight. But he's so used to getting all of these fancy meals and everything. Like, my mom thinks I'm crazy because I even celebrate Handsome Jake's birthday every year. And my mom asked me, why you treat your cat like that? And then I tell my mom, Handsome Jake is not just my cat, he's like my child. And technically, he's your grandchild. And my mom is like, oh my God. Right, Handsome Jake? Yes, you're living your best life here. I know, you're living your best life. And that's the best I could do for you. Because you give me so much love and joy, and even though you are so high maintenance, you deserve the best because you're so handsome. I don't know if I will have another cat to bring another cat into Handsome Jake's life. I think he's so used to being alone now. I mean, there used to be a few cats on this floor in my neighbor next door, but they all moved away, and he thinks that he's still hoping that he would have a new neighbor cat so he can go out to the hallway to play with them. But that's not happening yet. And so I think right now in the summertime, he loves being in the balcony and hang out there and tries to catch the birds sometimes. And I think at the end of the day, like, because I'm single and being a single gay cat dad, there's so many benefits of having a cat because I work really long hours. After 12 and 14-hour day, the best thing that happens to me is when I open the door, Handsome Jake is running to the door and greet me. And then I pick him up and he's purring. And no matter how stressed out I am from that day of work, he just makes me feel so much better. And yes, and he loves to cuddle. Like, every morning when the alarm goes off, he'll just want to snuggle for 5 minutes before I get out of bed. And life is much better with a cat. they bring you a lot of love and unconditional love. Right, handsome Jake? And on that note, thank you so much for watching this video, and let me share my life and love of my cats through the years. And please leave me a like and comment, and subscribe for more upcoming videos. And I'm sure handsome Jake will appreciate that too. Until next time, take care. Good boy. Good boy.